I'm too certified to be tested. I make music he has, so it's blessed. Ain't nobody.
Hello people, this is Walk with Mel. We're back at it again. En ik is surrounded by great mensen hier. Zoals jullie kan zien, Manchester is in een gebouw hier. So one time in...
Liverpool in the middle?
Ja, Liverpool. Het lijkt zo neutral als Liverpool. And today I want you guys to meet some great individuals. Ik ga niet veel introduceren, ik denk jullie gaan veel zelf introduceren. Please tell us who you are and what it is that you guys do. Dus we gaan bij jou, Nate.
I go by the name of Nate Johnson. I'm an R&B Kaapstad vocalist to be exact, you know. And I'm part of the medical records crew, part of the future, you know.
That's it, lekker.
I'm Gavin Kruger and I am the Managing Director of Medical Records SA. And I'm managing these two Manchester United supporters.
Gotta love us, man.
I go by the name of Ilro. I am not a Manchester United supporter, but I am 1/3 of Medical Records. This is the team out here. I'm a rapper. I'm a creative.
You do so many things, né?
Yeah.
Jy kan nie een ding
Get into
sê.
that again.
Kijk, wat voor ons nou aankom en wat jullie doen. Ik heb nou off the record, dus nou voor ons begin het, I said medical records as jullie surgeons. Wat is die visie? Hoe komt why the name medical records? It's an interesting name.
To be for me, my point of view of medical records is his AKA stage name is Cape Docatella, you know. So he's the Cape Doctor. So now I reference that as into, if he's the Cape Doctor, then it's just right that we have a medical records. You understand? So that's my point of view. So yeah.
Then we do records. So quickly, let's just start with obviously introductions. How were you guys introduced? We'll start with the music. Oh, and the artists. Who was you introduced? Any music in? I know we know each other, but just give us an introduction of how you guys were introduced into music, and then how did you guys meet?
Look, I have to speak for myself in terms of how I was introduced to music. Obviously, we all love music. I'm just an artist by nature. Before I did music, I was a visual artist. I used to draw and paint and stuff. That was like primary school, start of high school. I can still do it, but I took a bit of a dip.
Started from the bottom now,
I'm taking a break. I'm on a 10-year break now. So but then I got into music. I started writing music because I just needed to. It's just a creative choice for me. One of those things that you do as a hobby to relieve yourself of stress, just to put your emotions on something other than visual arts.
Form of expression.
Yeah, it's a form of expression.
Away.
So I obviously got into it like that naturally, as I would assume most people do. And that was about, say, when I was in grade 8 or 9, so it was about 12 to 13 years ago.
Sure.
And then I officially started recording in 2013, which is 10 years ago.
Amazing. Amazing.
And since then, it's just been a growth of experience, and it's a learning curve. I'm still learning every day, and that's how I got into it. There's many deep reasons why I got into it, but
Zij is overal.
yeah,
Die lang en die kort.
that needs a movie. And
Got you. Ja, nee, gaan daar is niks. En jij kan niet.
Van my kant af, I basically tap into the music world. I think 2019. Yeah, I think it was 2019. Yeah, when I how it came about me, because I always knew that I could make music. It was like I said prior to this, I wouldn't say a barrier, but I had a responsibility that I know I had to face.
Sure.
You see, because and that was my son. He's 8 years old now. So by the time I wanted to tap into music, I basically couldn't, you know, because I knew music life is busy life, you know, and I could see it from his side, you see. And then I told him, I still make jokes, and then I told him, look, I'm gonna phone you when I'm ready. You know? And in 2019, it just happened to be how it came about us making a song with another artist from Mandalay. Is that I think we lost a friend that was in an accident, but I knew about 4 or 5 of them, and all of them lost their lives in one car. But he just knew 1 or 2 of them. So I told him, look, this is this dedication song that I want to do, that I think I want to do, man. And then he just sent me one of his beats, because he's a producer also, by the way.
Creative.
So he sent me a beat, and then immediately I took that beat, and then I sent it to this other artist. Other artist sent me a concept of a hook. I recorded the hook, and then the song was created. And then we shot the video for that. It was my first song. And then the rest is bloody history.
En jullie zijn samen opgegroeid, hè?
Yeah, we grew up in the same community in Mandalay.
Sure.
So I grew up in front of him, he grew up in front. How we actually met, like the actual meeting was, But we both were in school, man.
Yeah.
He's
So
gonna
I
tell
was
me
the.
something that I don't know.
Ja.
I'm gonna tell. I'm
Je gaat
definitely
heel
gonna-
goed uitkomen.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you something that's legitimate,
Yeah.
man. You see, so I'm known as a hustler. You know,
Yeah.
this I make my money in a legal way, but I'm hustling.
Yeah.
You know, one, he was looking for a bike. You know, so I think I was grade 10 or grade 11. So I told him, bro, I'm gonna build you a bike. Man.
Wat?
You know, I'm gonna build you a bike, and then you can just give me like 250. It was 250. But it was a BMX.
Lord knows where I got that money. He's older than me, so I was probably grade 8 that time. Or 7.
Now you must know, I go to Tafelsig. I went to school at Oval North. You see,
Okay.
I went to Tafelsig.
Kun je
I
het
feel-
parten?
It was body bike, net I can bro.
Yeah.
I drive that bike straight from
Don't
Tafelsig
lie.
to Mandalay. After school, we did all of
100%
this
wins.
straight. When I came to Mandalay, the only thing that snapped was the chain.
Nice.
Well, I was in Mandalay already. Went home.
Maar toen is het snap nou.
Nee, the bike het regen nou om te verstaan, you know. So I gave him a proper chain. I told him, look, the chain snapped. So I'm gonna sort you out things, you know. And I took the bike to him, and that was our first proper connection.
And
yeah.
look
I think
at
that was our first interaction, but I
Interaction,
know him
yeah.
for since way before that.
That's
That's what I'm
incredible.
saying. I don't know when we met, but I know.
Maar die
him
bike het veel geconnect. Maar I mean,
I
then
think that was a
Gavin.
connection,
I mean,
man.
jullie het ook connect. Jullie is artists en dan Gavin, hy is so silent, maar die Gavin het baie info. Hy het baie info gegee nou hier voor die interview. Hoe het julle paie gekruis?
Okay, so I think it was in last year when myself and the boys linked up together. I think it was just after the death of my nephew. Nathan, my nephew, was very close at the time. And then after his passing, we started getting closer and stuff like that. And then we just suggested, listen here, let's link up and let's meet up with each other. And we started, talking about him and sharing the memories and stuff. And then eventually, on that same time, he said he came with a mindset, and he asked me if I didn't want to manage them, if I didn't want to be part of the medical records team. You understand? And with not even thinking twice, I said, okay, yes, I'll do it. And today I'm the managing director of Medical
That's
Records,
incredible.
and I'm mostly on the business side and focusing on the
But that's so
production
important.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Because I think
We
that's the
needed
thing.
that.
That's what we all need.
That's
I know
we
in
needed
South
that.
Africa moet 'n man maar nou 'n klomp goed doen om het te maak, but you need that support from a business perspective. And
Yes.
creatively moet 'n man nog, it's too much, it's lovely to have that balance.
Yes, correct.
En dan sê of my, what is the vision for Medical Records? What is the
So the vision for Medical Records is, right, we wanting to actually put back to the community. First of all, we're starting with that, right? So we're going to the local towns and we are having concert events where we're putting back to the community where the artists actually come from,
Sure.
or majority of the artists that work with Medical Records.
Yes.
And then we're taking it back to the community and what the community, just to say that we do appreciate it
Sure.
and all that. And for Medical Records as a business, obviously we're wanting the business to grow like any other normal business and actually employ more artists onto the same ship that we on,
Sure.
and actually drive them to success as well.
That's incredible. Even gewoon met die artists ook praat oor wat 'n week het julle al gedoen. I know you guys shoot and edit stuff. What work have you guys done? Because obviously Medical Records is nie net die een ding, daar's 'n klomp obviously. It's also umbrella vibes. Wat 'n week het julle al gedoen? As individuals
As
that
individuals.
you yeah.
So you're gonna go
I
first.
still
or I'm
get
gonna go
pick
first.
and pay.
Say later.
Maar hy's so humble. Hy's so humble.
Yeah, he has a longer list.
They edit, they produce and but yeah, please just share some of the stuff highlights that you've done on your journey.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for me personally, like I said earlier, I started off like writing and stuff like that, and that was obviously my own personal work. As I got into it, when I finally just mentioned I used to work at Pick and Pay when I was in high school. I was in grade 11 and I got a job at Pick and Pay, and then I used that little money that I got paid because it was a little money, and I was able to buy me the same equipment that I'm still using today. Like
Yeah,
the mic.
and we still have that equipment.
We always record with just the mic.
That's what we
the
travel
mic
with
and
the
the sound
equipment.
Kijk voor pick-up pie,
I
shout
drove the Pick and Pay,
Shout
drove
out
them
to
to
Pick
their
and Pay.
success.
Is dat pick-up pie? Pick-up pie is ook een sponsor.
I was a shelf picker.
Were you
I was
shelf
picking
picker?
shelves for like 4 months or so, and then
And then you use that money, but look at you, business-wise, that's
yeah,
dope.
and I used that money because I mean back then when I started, the industry wasn't like it is today.
Yes.
I knew no one. Like me and my brother, that I grew up with, that started the music thing. when we started doing music, we didn't know anyone. We just wanted to make music. And I'm not the type of person that asks anyone for help or anything like that. So I didn't even bother trying to go and ask my bro, I need beats, or I need a...
Beats, yeah, what you mean.
And so what I did was I went to go Google, I went to research what do you do if you want to be a rapper. I probably did that search at one point. And then okay, I must get a mic, I must get a sound card, I obviously need a PC, blah blah. I went to go work for a while, got some money. That was just before I got into matric, and then my father told me, look here, you need to quit because you must focus on matric. Okay, cool, I'm gonna quit. I had the money already, fine. So I quit, I got the equipment over that year in my last year. And in that year I started recording myself, but not only myself, a lot of people.
A lot of other people. Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
on my laptop right now there's 1,000 songs that I engineered. And like 20% or 15% of it is mine. So obviously that's one of the things that I like, because your question was what have I done? So I've done that, like tons of engineering. More than 50% of it was obviously free because start off somewhere, and it's a challenge. It gets to a certain point whereby now you can't do this for free anymore.
100%.
That took a few years also. And then I got to a point whereby, okay, then I went and I did engineering. I studied sound engineering after high school. And then I got access at Cape Audio College, got access to world-class facilities. So I got first-hand experience being in a professional studio. I know how to control a studio, I know how to work a studio. And not just that, I obviously got qualified and whatever, and through that I met a lot of people, a lot of connections. And then in my final year of college, I wanted to shoot a music video, and I was like, okay, now it's time for visuals.
I got you.
And then same concept. I'm not going to ask anyone for help. And then, but I knew I had a bra that had a camera, like a normal Canon DSLR. I think it was a 750.
Yeah, the basics.
Like
Basics.
Yeah. And then, but I also didn't ask him for that. The thing is, he asked me for studio time, and I was like, okay, cool, you have a camera. So let's trade now. And so
amazing.
And then he was so cool. His name was Taku. He's still he's one of the top MCs from back in the day, like conscious wise. And so he left his camera with me, and he trusted me so much that he just left his camera with me for like 2 months. And then in that 2 months, I studied the camera, and then I made a song. There was a song, actually I made the song before I got the camera, but the song was inspired by something that happened in our community. Like, you know, there's a lot of mob justice and stuff like that happens in our communities. So there where I used to live, it was a hot spot, it was a getaway spot, so I would always get caught there. And in that week there was 3 lighters that was killed right there by...
And you used that to...
So that was, for me, it was just like, and I'm going to college every day, so on the 3rd occasion, I woke up, my mother just told me they just killed the boy here now, because there was a lane next to our house where we used to live. So it was a getaway spot that always used to get them there. And so when the 3rd kid died, I was like, yo, this is hectic, because it's children, man, and it's okay, it's lighties and it's adults that's contributing to what's going on now. And for me, it was just an inspiration, so I wanted to do a video for that.
I get you.
And then I got the brass camera. That same day when that happened, the 3rd occasion when that thing happened, I wrote the song. I wrote the song before I made the beat. I wrote the song with a reference beat in mind, and then I made the beat while I was at college. Because I had to go to college that day, but I was writing in the first period. I wrote the song, and then after I was done with the session, I went to the studio and made the beat. On the same day, and then after that, I was like, I've got the full song now, and this all happened in one day. So I'm gonna shoot the video.
What?
And
that was the start for.
And that was the start of my visual journey.
Oh
because
my!
I never did visuals.
Baie van die visuals wat ek sien van die ander ouens, dan sien ek net euro. Nee, maar ek wil nie gedoen nie. Ek wil vandag 'n break vat. Ek like die breaks vat want die nou wil ek gepraat oor what's coming next for Medical Records. Die man is besig as a certain situation. It's a walk with Mel, people don't go anywhere. And we are back, people. It is a walk with Mel. If you just joined us, we're hanging out with Medical Records. Kyk, julle is on fire. It's so cool to hear the individual journeys, but I'm also happy that you guys are so quite that julle saamwerk om goals to achieve, man. And earlier you said the vision is obviously bigger than just this. Let's speak about the event coming up. You guys have a cool event coming up. Let's talk about that. What initiated that, number one, and then the artist that's going to perform. Tell us about that.
Okay, so first things first, from day one already, we decided that we wanted to host in different areas of Cape Town, which is the West Coast, and Overberg, Houston, and Central Cape Town as well. And what we did was, and we looked at where artist is and where they're situated. Like for instance, your M. Joyner and your Caitlin Philanders from the West Coast, Vredenburg. So we're taking it firstly back to there on the West Coast, starting off. Initially, we actually wanted to go to Houston first because Nate is from Houston. But then, yeah, because of operational things, we decided, listen, let's rather start off with the West Coast and move our way to Houston.
And why did you guys choose Vredenburg? Why? Hoekom nie die Kaap? Hoekom buitekant die Kaap?
You want to answer that?
People that net
Look, yeah, no, look, the reason why, look, he used to live in Vredenburg for I think 6 to 7 years, so that's the first thing that made it easier.
True.
And the second thing that made it much more easier is the relationship that we started building with M. Joyner. You know, so M. Joyner is from Vredenburg, and M. Joyner and Caitlin Philander, they are probably, I don't know if there's going to be any artist that's going to hit numbers the way they are hitting numbers at the moment.
Wow.
So then, like I said, all of the stuff that I mentioned made it much more easier for us to organize. He had all of his connections within Vredenburg.
Amazing.
So to get all the artists that we have on the lineup now was practically as easy as 1, 2, 3 because we have a relationship with all the artists.
100%.
We have a relationship with Crow, we have a relationship with Cream, I have a relationship with Matt. We have all of the artists that we got, we have relationships with. So it was just a phone call away and said, listen, when we call them, they told us, we'll be on it.
What?
You know? So yeah.
And I think it's basically the same thing when the way they have relationships with a fellow artist. I've got a relationship
I was
with
going to
business.
ask you because the balance is important.
Exactly.
Yes.
So because the business part of the company is actually which is my part, where I am over the operation. I do the operational procedures and stuff, right, with regards to booking the places and obviously getting everything together in order for this event to happen and to work.
That's incredible. When is the event date, the date and venue in Dinge? So Mr. Il,
When is it? 29th of April, Vredenburg Sports Ground.
And it is a music festival, right?
Yeah, it's a music festival.
Music festival. And it's just a one day as you visie om het.
Yeah, it's a one day, but it's not once off.
There we go.
That's it.
Yeah, it's gonna be practically like a picnic on the lawn type of vibe. Where it's gonna be a family event where people can bring their kids and have fun for the day, bring their umbrella and the camping chairs.
Incredible.
And we're gonna have a couple of vendors there. We're gonna have a couple of events. That's going to take place like Plasnar,
Okay.
He's going to be walking around doing his content, interviewing
all those type of things.
And
Yeah.
there's going to be a jumping
be a
castle
vibe.
for the kids.
En groot mense ook en ek raak het jammer.
Ja,
I mean,
Met phone.
He's a special. Hy nog met die Vredenburg gekom. And then obviously you mentioned some of the artists. Is there any other artists that's performing there that people? You said Plasnar's going to be there, M. Joyner, Caitlin. Who else is going to be there? Obviously, you're going to perform.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, RJ is going to be there.
It's going to be we are going to have entertainers such as Street Kings.
Yeah, Street Kings, the dance crew is also going to be there.
They're going to be there. RJ, they're going to do their vocal, you know.
Lekker.
And then we're going to have the likes of Caitlin Philander. We're going to have the likes of Cream. We're going to have the likes of Mr. Heinz. Shoulders from Strand.
Shoulders is net so fire, né? I've heard his music
That
incredible.
guy is lyrically, he's very good. And then we're going to have Matt Stoner.
Matt
Levi.
And Renaza, she's a vocalist. And
Renaza is from Atlantis.
she's from Atlanta.
Amazing.
So yeah, she's an artist that we found in Atlantis,
Amazing.
and then she's very talented. And we're actually aiming to also in the future maybe make a part of the Medical Records team.
So is daai visie ook vir julle? As dit obviously Medical Records is mos nou 'n event, but what others doen julle? What other services do you guys offer? Is it like videography, obviously doing music videos? What other services do you guys offer? Just to obviously pad that as well.
Yeah, look, like you said, the videography is something we're definitely pushing heavily now. Sure, a lot of people, some people have already seen it, and we worked with a lot of people already. Medical Records Productions, it's just going to be an off branch from the label itself. So that's the visual part of things. Obviously, I myself do engineering, sound engineering. Obviously, we're artists, and now we're doing the events.
Gotcha.
And we looking forward in the future to do more things like actually schooling, like for lack of a better term, teaching artists maybe the ins and outs.
Schooling, ek ken vir schooling. Ek
Ja,
het presies
schooling.
wat jy nou sê.
Ja.
I knew what you were saying.
It's a rapper's term,
Schooling,
you know, it's
school vir jou.
We want to
School.
make it a business also in the future whereby we actually teach artists the ins and outs of the industry, because at the end of the day, a lot of artists out there, they do have the support base and the numbers and stuff like that. And maybe, yes, they do make money off of events and stuff like that, but that only goes to a certain extent.
Sure.
At the end of the day, that's like quick money, that's now.
I hear you.
But for long-term investments, you need to be...
To do this as a career, om het te kan doen.
And the long-term investments, that's where I come in, because I let them sign the contracts.
We do contracts.
Yes.
There's contracts involved. There's and I mean, apart from the Samurai and all of that other stuff, there's so many other companies that you need to be affiliated with, or actually have to be part of, that artists don't know about. And yeah, just all the terminologies that's used, like, you know, distributing,
It's so cool
publishing,
because
all
you're
these
doing
things.
things that you didn't have, man. So basically, you're being the change that you want to see. Waar kan die mensen tickets krijgen?
You can get tickets at Web Tickets. You can get it at any Pick and Pay outlet.
Pick and Pay?
And yeah, then there's also tickets available that's floating in Vredenburg, from some of the artists that's in Vredenburg, like M. Joyner.
Lovely. And then what time does the event start? Julle sekere tyd waar dit begin?
The event is, doors are opening at 11. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention again, also purchase tickets by Mels Entertainment in Vredenburg.
Okay,
So we're planning to open at 11 o'clock, until the evening.
Amazing stuff, guys. Ek is baie excited. Social media, waar kan die mense vir julle vang? Where can people catch you?
They can catch me on all social media platforms as Nate Johnson SA. You know, it's Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, you name it.
Lekker, Jay.
They can catch me at Medical Records SA on TikTok, Facebook,
Gevaarlijk.
Instagram.
Gevaarlijk.
Yeah.
Oh, Ilro is saying that, like, as they said.
Laat me net
all
een
of the
laatste vraagje. De game voelt toe, hy wil nou.
Ja,
Vertel ons, net kom vandag, sorry. En ons is by jou uitgekomen, ja. Stuur uit jou WhatsApp. Can you please call me? Can you please call me? Ja, Diana. Ik heb niet data daar, niet, hè?
You know, but look how the game featured, the game, look, to me personally, and a lot of people that know me and Ilro personally on the music, from music, everything that I have in music is because of him.
Sure.
Everything. And
That's
so
so cool.
everything that I'm still learning, I'm learning it from him. Because he's younger than me, but not that young.
Maar weet je wat is kwaai?
know, that's
Jay,
not
jij is nog jong.
Yeah, hij maakt het.
Hij maakt het zo ja.
But yeah, he's
But you're still learning, and that's
You know.
we all, and you can learn from anyone.
exactly. And I know the reason why I'm open to learning from him is because I know for a fact he's longer than me in the music
Got
industry.
you,
He has a decade on his shoulder of making music. So what more can I do than to learn from this man?
Sure,
You see? So
I got you.
how the game feature came was he was actually on a compilation tape that was did I think 2-3 years ago, no?
Yeah.
I think 2-3 years ago,
2019.
where the game basically was in contact, but he made a post on Instagram, all artists around the world that is interested in adding one of their songs on the compilation tape. One of his songs was on there. I think it was colored, no? Color.
Sure, I can't even.
It was colored, yeah. It was colored, yeah. So that song was on there, and that's where his relationship started with the game.
Yo, that's mad.
So then the game basically, a year later, the game basically did another promo. And we basically, look, the feature didn't, I'm not going to say any amount, but the feature didn't come free.
I know what you
But
mean, yeah.
For the amount of money that we saw, we were like, bro, this can't be real. To get a feature from the game
Sure.
for
It's
this
massive,
amount
yeah.
of money, we need to take this.
Yo.
And a lot of people don't know this. When we got the game feature, basically the same time he got his verse back from Youngster, Rands in the West.
Yo.
So we were juggling, telling ourselves, look, it's a game feature, so we put that in the safe, we lock it up.
Ja, sit hom in.
And we obviously dropped the young feature, but where the young feature came was he dropped an album a few months, I think the 21st of March.
Yeah.
So that song was supposed to be on his album, but we had some hiccups getting his verse and whatever. So we dropped the song the summer of that year, no? I think the summer of that year. And then that's prior to people knowing that we have a game feature in the vault. So we kept the game. So our agreement was, look, we both know that my name specifically had to be out there.
Sure.
So vir my gaat dit nie baat ek drop 'n game feature nou en ek weet ek moet nog hard werk.
Got you.
So that's where
But
I
that's
got,
why, because your intentions is pure.
you know, and that's where the cream feature came. That's where the
Okay.
So when I did the cream feature, ghetto.
Meneer?
So I knew, bro. Kyk,
Kijk eens hoe het uit. Kijk
Jy
eens.
sê ek kan vir my knife. Nou is dit gaat net op hier.
Yo.
And Cream was one of the first people that actually knew we had the game feature, you know.
Amazing,
And he was actually this is gonna sound like a joke. Cream, the day when the song dropped, Cream was the first one that posted about the song on his Facebook. No lie. That was the first tag. I woke up with a tag and he woke up with a tag. En Cream tagged us both. Julle mannen sal nie verstaan nie, die manne het die game geklok.
Yo, hy
Shout out to Cream.
That's
man. Hy's my leier, you know.
Kijk,
That's my.
en weet wat ek like van julle, soos nou hier sien is baie collaboration en is julle support mekaar. Even op social media sal sien ook soos met Cream en met julle almal, julle support mekaar met die music. And that is what we need. You know, mense complain altyd ja, so opportunities ja, but ultimately julle create hy. En julle support mekaar, soos jy gee vir hom credit. Mense is so bang om credit te gee deesdae, you know, and ultimately te verloor niksie. You know, any last words of advice? What do you guys think can we do to improve as artists here in South Africa? Just the last one before we wrap it up.
I would say as artists, the first thing you need to do is start off as actually being humble, you know, because at the end of the day, like you saying now, you're giving credit to each and everyone, like to each other. And I think working with these two, I mean, they are so humble in what they do. And you know what, it's not like, say for instance, they have reached levels, man, you know. And since last year, since I've been with him and I've just watched him from a distance, you know, and the personalities and the way they are, and that's the first thing that caught me, you know, because at the end of the day, if you don't start by being humble, then obviously, you know, what's the point at the end of the day?
True. Anything from you guys? You're cool?
Now from my side, it's more
like, humble. That's what it is.
Look, my thing is just like invest in your craft, man.
Sure.
Before, if you're gonna get any outside hopes and dreams from outsiders, and you know that you can make your name go to a certain extent, then invest in your name.
Invest in your name.
And I'm talking about all aspects of investment, whether it's like our camera that we started with is not the camera that we have now. So the same goes for you get what I'm saying? So
got you.
Never just invest in your craft, man, and then you'll see the light.
100%. It is a walk with Mel. Medical records ingebouwd. Check hulle uit op all social media platforms. People, thank you so much for supporting.
Thank you.